Hey there team, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Stoneshard. I put out the call and it still exists, it's still extant team. If there's anything in my backlog, new or old, but that I've covered on the channel previously and you want to see, chuck it in a comment below and I'll put a video in rotation to test the waters and see how it is at the time. I'm doing the great overhaul, I suppose. Well, it's not quite an overhaul, but yes, if there's something that's fallen by the wayside and you want to see, let me know. Stoneshard is one of them. I put that comment out and someone said, yep, I'd like to see some more Stoneshard. And I'm happy to oblige, especially on the back of the new Trollslayer update. Obviously, I did a bit of an impressions video where I played it for a good couple of hours and got into it and got a vibe for it and went over the patch notes, and that was well received, but we are pivoting back to sort of Let's Plays. That's where my core is, that's what a lot of you guys joined up for. So I'll still do impressions when I do new videos, but Let's Plays for sure, which means more Stoneshard. We're going to start a new game entirely, and we're going to do adventure mode. Now, previously I'd been doing permadeath, and I enjoyed that, and it was fun, and a lot of the motivation behind that was to make it last longer. We're going to skip this guy. Because I was worried about running out of content. Especially now that we've got Trollslayer, I don't think that's going to happen. And the game still carries enough weight where you can lose an entire hour's worth of progress if you stuff up. I'm going to stick with this guy. Jorgrim, I'm comfortable with him. I like him. Swords, maces, axes, shields, combat mastery, right? Combat mastery is cool. It's almost like toggles. Like you can put him in offense mode and defense mode. It's got like an almost like a Diablo stance, combat stance sort of position. It's interesting, but it is definitely like a secondary thing. Swords, I haven't done much with this guy, believe it or not. I've tried maces. Maces are tough. Axes are pretty good, and I might actually just go axes again because of the dive that's available.
Interesting.
Interesting. Okay. You'll see what I mean, but wolves especially now dive on you because they've got the athletics tree, and he doesn't have the athletics tree. Sorry, that's me there. That guy looks like my twin, just about. First things first, we'll buy a bunk for a day. I'm not that worried. I've heard about people managing to wreck themselves economically. Now, I don't mean to laugh at these people, because I would have thought that you would always keep 15 bucks in your guy as a minimum sort of thing. But it is interesting that it seemed to be a common thread on a lot of the Reddits. No, I didn't mean laugh. I kind of assumed that you would always keep a minimum amount of money to make a save. My one little bit of advice would be, check your map, look at the question marks, at least scout them. If you can find a bandit camp at one of these, they'll have a bed that you can use for free. Okay, so we've got Jorgrim, and we have to figure out what we're going to do. We're going to chuck both the weapons up just because that's what we've got. The thing with axes, big on crit chance and crit efficiency. Crit efficiency is crit damage, yeah? So that's what people are probably used to, the 2 crit stats. So crit efficiency plus 15%, presumably of your baseline damage. So it'd be another 15% on top of 23. Usually in other games it would read as crit damage 115%. I'm pretty certain that's what that's telling us there. And that just modifies your core stat, which will be down here. Oh, there you go. Actually, look, that's what it turns. It actually does give you crit efficiency there. So if we take that off, it drops. So you can get an idea of what that's all about. Accuracy, 93%. That's okay. It means you'd be missing like every 1 in 10 shots, which is not great, actually. Shields, I don't know. I'm just not a shield guy. But axes, we're going to lean into axes for starters. This is what we want, mutilating lunge, because it gives you that 2-range lunge. Lock it in, Larry. We're locked out of the second tier in the new patch. I believe you could get it originally. But we've got this. What's this? Inflicting an injury reduces cooldown duration for the skill tree by 2 turns, which is pretty cool. Each injury affecting the target grants your attacks against it plus 5% accuracy and plus 5. See, now that's good. But that's highly conditional. This, inflicting injury, I mean, injury is the name of the game with this. And look at that, if it fails to inflict an injury, it reduces the cooldown, okay? So it's injury or reduced cooldown. And then if you look at this, injury gives another cooldown. So you've created a scenario, the two sides of the outcome reduce cooldown. And that's good. So we could potentially keep chaining that every couple of turns. And we want that. We want to get to a point where our mana is actually a problem, our energy. And then we can deal with energy. I'm probably just going to dump points into strength and agility, to be perfectly honest, because if you mouse over the ability, it says modified by strength and agility. I don't see a problem with balance leveling the two of them. You don't have to go hard on one or the other. One's more about damage, but this also really helps your crit chance and dodge as well, because dodge is our defense, because I'm just neglecting the shield altogether. I'm not trying to be an expert. I know you know when someone speaks with authority, they can sound like a bit of a tosser. I'm not trying to. I am just sort of saying, this is what I know, and this is what I am going to do. Oh, that'll do. This isn't bad. People get are really worried about medical stuff. There's not a lot of medical stuff you need in this game. We'll go down, because we start with a little bit of cash. The medicus is down here, old mate playing in his herb garden. Interested in your fresh herbs? No, I'm good, but thank you, sir. Leeches are great. I think people underrate leeches. I always carry leeches. The reason for it is the body part condition for 30 ticks, right? Which is essentially 30 body part condition. These healing salves are handy, right? But this, over time, is actually really handy. I'm a huge fan of leeches. I think you need to take a splint. You can have a look back at my permadeath stuff. I sort of broke down a lot of the theory crafting around what I figured out from this game. But generally speaking, if you go to not skill, sorry, if you go to here, not all body parts are created equal. If you take damage to the head, it actually really hurts your max health, like more than you would think. And that's not sort of immediately apparent. I could potentially get, it also feels like they've nerfed body part damage in this update. I can't be 100% certain. So what's that do? That's pain resistance. No, to be perfectly honest, booze does that. Booze does that job just fine. Yeah, all I really wanted was a splint. I'm not even going to bother with the healing salve. One thing that I think a lot of people don't realize with this game, and I can't blame them because I was exactly the same, is that, actually, you know what, we might grab another. We might just go into the axes because we're not using the sword tree at the moment. So there's no reason for us to have a sword other than we need something in our other hand. We probably will take this. I should do hunting more often with my archery. We're going to take this, right? Because it's going to give us, well, body part damage. That's what we want. That's the other thing about axes. It's really big on body part damage. So we're going to equip that into there. We'll probably sell that sword. Can't get too attached to it. Yeah, with healing, waiting, just waiting. F1 to wait is the shortcut. I'm just going to get all the missions off this dude. Any contracts? Yep, okay, so he should give me 2 contracts and they'll show up as red X's on the map, right? Oh, average, nice. We're going to go straight there. It doesn't mean we're going to go well, but usually it's high or very high for the danger, but average is nice. So we're going to go down the road to the east 2 tiles and then up 1. Yeah, waiting is your best friend. Eat food, drink water, wait, and that heals almost everything really well. The problem is when you have a body part that is wounded too much, it needs to be stabilized. I already hide the room. I'm going to save real quick. And it won't really start repairing on its own. So what you want to do in that scenario is splint it if you can. Or like leech it or whatever. So you only use the salve if it's in danger. If your max health is getting too low, it will slowly come back. But if you really think it's in danger of going to the like sort of 1/3 of the health bar state where it becomes an injury that needs splinting and stabilizing, then you really do need to repair that as well. I'm going to sell the sword to this bloke because I don't want it. I think, I mean, he's not going to give me a lot, 22 bucks, but I think he might be the best that I can get. Oh, look at all the axes he's selling. Hang on, what's going on here? Can I afford any of these? No, not really. I could buy like that, but I think that's exactly what I've already got. That's fine. Just having the two of them gives me more injury chance. I know it's getting late in the afternoon, but I'm gonna go anyway. So yeah, I'm not an authority on this game. I just have my methods that I've worked out. I love it. It's probably my favourite game that's released this year. I know it's early access. It did come out this year, didn't it? Yeah. Deer becomes hostile. Oh, you know, I'm going to have to get more in the habit of chasing them a bit. I do have the dive. I can, like, that makes such a difference trying to hunt. You can hunt things with melee. Because their pathing's a bit stupid. You can have a more efficient path to them as they run away, and they'll run into trees and shit like that. So you don't have to rely on archery. But archery's handy. Okay, so we went 1, 2, that's us, we're going up here. Also, the incident of ambushes seems to have been turned up too. Apparently you can dig up some really cool stuff from graves. I still haven't seen a grave yet. I used to run around with a shovel, but the shovel is so large, it takes up so much of your inventory. Alright, so this will be a fort that we're approaching here. Alright, middle mouse drags the camera. What we're going to try and... Yeah, okay, this is perfect, right? Because we've managed to pull just one guy. He might be the only one. Remember, this is an average difficulty, this one. So let's just let him get away from the camp. Spacebar is skip turn. Cool. Look at that. Reset that cooldown, baby. And then you just pull this up, check that, we're okay. Our max health's pretty good. We can go straight in. I mean, I suppose we could rest for the extra couple of hit points. Look at that, there's literally no one here. Can't cook anything. Can't loot anything. Wow, okay. Almost makes me wonder if I've ever done an average dungeon. Oh, rag. Worst piece of loot ever, but I'll take it. Oh, yeah, okay, boar pelt. Alright. Alright, let's pick it. Might as well. The reason you want to pick these doors is that you make noise and you draw a lot of dudes, and you got to be careful having a train of bandits just running up on you. Oh, the door's up there. I was like, where the bloody hell is the rest of this dungeon? Oh, boar pelts. So yeah, I would say don't be too scared of these dungeons, even if it's not an average difficulty one. Like, I lucked out, I know that. But, even just doing a little bit of one floor of, like, don't think you have to complete the dungeon. Yeah, you scrub. Now, as much as I do want to rest, there's no advantage to resting when we've got a room full of loot. Especially with the two closed doors. So we'll just run in and loot. Because getting the rest timer to start takes a few turns. Health is restored every 10 turns. Now we'll rest. There we go. Just get a little bit up. I wonder if this one's open. There we go. Man, I love this game. I don't know if I said it at the beginning of the video, but I'll put it in the pinned comment. But I'm setting view targets for videos to have them come out, and that's more about letting you guys know where I'm at. So I think 15 views, I'll put the next one up. Just because this is the first one of a series and center it, I'll probably get those views quick. I mean, I don't want to make an assumption. But I like to say, if it hits this, I will record the next video immediately. And that way, you guys can sort of go, oh, next video must be around the corner because of it hit X. Oh geez, that hit really hard, didn't it? Mild leg injury. That's frustrating. What was he using? Right. So this is what I was talking about. It's good to have this as an example, actually, right? This thing is just going to keep creating pain. It's going to cause all sorts of problems and not really go away unless you assist it. So... 46%. I might actually leech it, which will fix it. See, the problem with this, the stabilizing's interesting, but it's more of a panic solution. Like, for example, you wouldn't stabilize it and leech it. I think that's where people get a little back to front. Or healing salve it. You do one or the other. So that's going to create pain, but that's not so bad. Where's our pain at? Alright, it's ticking up. I'm just going to drink now. And we'll wait for a bit. Look, okay, so it's stable. See how it's got stabilized because we pushed it past that threshold? But it's still not fixed. No longer causes pain to accumulate. So the splint's handy. I used to be a huge proponent of it. I'm starting to not be so much. You can see there as well, actually here's a good example. Even with that stabilized and that chunk out of the leg, look at my max health. It's only down by 3% threshold, right? So even with the leg injury, it doesn't affect my max health terribly much. The pain is, not even the noise produced, but the minus 10% dodge chance is a pain in the bum, right? But at this point, we're just going to walk it off. Is it just you, sir? Uh-oh. Oh, for crying out loud. Whoo! It's tough to be level 1 again, hey? Pain is just over the threshold. Oh, hang on. No. Close. Alright. This is a gamble that I'm going to take here. I'm going to drink, because we saw a guy coming up, but he didn't see us just yet. He's still going to have to get to the door. Actually, you know what? I might walk. Right, and then we'll hit rest state here. We'll see if he... Like, he shouldn't have been aggroed, so he shouldn't come after us. Alright. You can see there, left leg's about as bad as right leg and right hand, but the torso is what's hurting my max health there. We might even just rest a little bit longer. Probably deal with that hunger. Oh no, we'll eat the carrot. It's not the end of the world. Hunger's mostly just a mana consideration. But you can sort of see, that's in no hurry to fix. It is, as we say, stabilized. Look, it's slowly fixing up its condition. Let's test. I think maybe 90% it'll fix. There you go, yeah. So that's a big boon. So you sort of see what I mean, like, you can let a limb get fairly low, and it's okay, but once it gets too low, and then it hits the, it hits the threshold where it becomes an injury needing stabilize. To then clear the stabilize debuff, you need to push it all the way back up past bloody 90%, so it is a little bit of a pain. I didn't want to eat this, but I will. I mean, I guess we've got to eat it eventually, right? Hello, sir. Oh, how do you know I didn't come to the right neighborhood? Oh. For 90% accuracy, I sure am missing a lot of my shots. Oh, shit. So he's got to dive just like me. We got to be careful with that. And I've got a little bit of low health. Has he? Yeah, he's aggroed. We're gonna try something here. Be good if I could get a tick. If you get hit, it resets it. Hey, there we go. Hang on. Was he not aggroed on us? I don't want to hit F1 because they run up on you pretty quick if you're not careful. Oh, stuff it, I will. Alright, we need a drink. That's interesting, he... Okay, yeah, he mustn't have actually been aggroed. Well, now that he is, let's test this. I want him to open the door, and I'm gonna jump him. There we go. So he doesn't get to use his dive, I get to use mine. I'm missing a lot of hits. Look at that head injury, you can see, that's what's done it. Yeah, so... I mean, obviously we're gonna rest for a bit. Yeah. Alright, so, okay. So as much as I said I didn't want the healing salve, this is the scenario I want it for. Mostly for head injuries. That's what I don't like. We're gonna just rest through. It's dangerous resting through, especially if you're smashing down doors, because people will hear that and just navigate towards it. Plus, your food and water doesn't last forever. Oh, okay. So, lessons learned, I will bring a healing salve next time. And we'll just work the math out for stabilizing injuries, right? So, I'm starting to sort of change my position on them. In that, if you can get it back over 90%, there's no need to stabilize. That's sort of my lessons learnt from all this. So, I think having the splint is still important, but you do the math and go, alright, we have an injury that needs splinting. Do I have enough salves and all that to get it over 90%? Do I want to do that, or would I rather just stabilize it and roll along with the dodge chance reduced? Oh no, don't do it like that. It's dangerous pathing right there. Alright, we're only level 1, so even on a medium dungeon, I'm reluctant to go down there just yet. We'll see what... Oh my god, these deer pelts. Pelts galore. How much do they go for? 13, 11. What's that? 20 plus change? What's that going for? 50? Okay, I'll take that. It's not a bad haul so far, to be perfectly honest. Like, at this point, as much as I wouldn't mind pushing on for a juicier loot, we've gone through a lot of our medical supplies. Not the end of the world. But we've got some alright loot. I think we will keep going. This is my general sort of philosophy anyway. Usually you can see trouble before it gets you. Like, the only thing you gotta really worry about that will really undo you is... Oh, here we go. Oh, they're okay. Is getting rolled up on by... Oh my god, yes. Rolled up on by a group while you're already in combat. Good thing I stuck around. Get rid of this. Get rid of that. Books are my jam. If all I looted were books, would be great. They sell for like $150 or something to the dude in the main square. I know it says the value of them is like 1,000. It seems like a rip-off. Oh, alright, we want to close this gap as soon as possible. I need to shut that archer down. Oh god, another. Come on. Whoo! Alright, well, let's apply the new theory. It's on 39%. We'd need, what, 50? 50 plus change? 50, well, yeah. I don't have 50 in salves or anything like that, right? So we're gonna splint it. Oh! Oh, how much was it on? It was on 39, is that right? 39. So let's call that 40. 50, 60, 70, so that's 30 condition. Plus 4 plus the one before. 35. 35 condition. That's interesting. I mean, you can't use it purely for a condition thing. $35. That changes it a little bit, actually. Because I was using it purely as not a healing item, like just as a stabilizing item, but the fact that it has a large amount to heal. That might change it a little bit. Alright. I am going to... I believe that's where we came in. Don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm going to leave. Because let's be honest, we've killed a lot of dudes. We've cleared out an entire floor. We've actually been injured quite seriously a couple of times. Remember I was saying that I thought the injury system was nerfed in this current patch. Turns out I've probably just had some lucky runs. There's always the outside chance that we get jumped on the way home, and we've got almost no medical supplies at all. Financially, I know this game's tough and a bit of a squeeze. Like, we probably will lose money out of this whole run, all said. But you can't discount the experience that we've gotten. Even though we didn't get a level, we must be pretty close to one, or 350. It's not insignificant. There we go, cleared after time. We don't want that. We do not want those wolves. There was 3 of them. Like I said, I'm particularly scared of wolves in this current version. Especially at this difficulty level, or at our current level. Alright, cool. The nature of these runs, of staying in a dungeon, usually it would go for longer than half an hour. This has actually worked out quite well for my episode length. But I would just, like, if that happens, what I usually do is I'll record the episode in one sitting, and then I'll release them in 2 blocks. What do you mean I need to pay the innkeeper first? I already paid for a day. Show me your goods. I'll take some bread. Need a bunk. I mean, the ham is only one use at the moment, but it's still a valuable piece of meat. like, I'd rather not eat it if I could help it. It's also infinitely preserved, I believe. It does not spoil. Right. Okay, well, that's the save there. Your progress has been saved. I was going to say, I couldn't see it written down there. Team, let me know what you reckon. Always happy to hear some feedback and that sort of thing. Like I said, we'll just say 15 likes. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on with the sort of the levels and what I think is a fair enough amount. But this way, we'll get the more regular seasons out daily if we can help it. And at least the other stuff that's not as popular, they might be like a weekly episode, but at least we'll be able to keep it going for those that are watching the less popular stuff. So at 15 views, we'll go and put the next video up. So feel free to like, comment, you know, share, all that sort of stuff. Help me drive it. Alright team, we might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.